Okay, wow, we have a busy day today. So let's just get going. Welcome back to Galaxy News Radio. Remember that there was a war going on against Russia and Ukraine, and China is somehow involved in that, and the US was somehow involved in that, and then the UK and EU were talking about how much billions of dollars they donated to Ukraine, and then Donald Trump talked about how the United States donated $500 billion to the Ukraine, and then that all disappeared, and now we're focused on a completely different war because that's just how the media works. I guess they focus on what is going to attract the people, which I get because they need the views and they're a company and they need the money to pay their employees and the people that run the business and all that. I get it, but war is still going on. Nobody's talking about it because everybody's concentrated in the Middle East. But we're Galaxy News Radio and we talk about world news. Let's go. Let's get into it. Oh, that was quick. What? Can't read that fast. Says what? Ukraine says 17 drones struck in just 9 minutes. Okay. Hitting apartment buildings, public transport, and even a playground. Oh shit. Okay. Fires engulf parts of a 5-story residential complex. By the way, I'm reading this. There's people that are like, "Why the fuck are you reading?" Where we see it, I understand, but there's people that are just listening, probably going through their chores, just needed a long video to watch or to have in the background. That's why I'm reading it for them. Okay, let's continue. Killing at least 2 people and injuring 38, including 5 children. Oh, shame. Shame. The children. That's. Well, Kyiv's mayor confirmed widespread destruction. Kharkiv's mayor? Okay, Kharkiv's. Sorry for mispronouncing words. Especially cities and towns and streets and stuff like that. Not gonna happen. Man, I love coffee. And called it one of the most intense strikes yet. Oh shit. But haven't they been calling every strike one of the most intense strikes yet? And I hear this even with the war going on in the Middle East with Iran and Israel. Every day it's like, oh, they're doing good. Oh, the strikes aren't good. Oh, this is the deadliest strike ever. The next day, oh, this is not good. But this is only a couple things later in the day. Oh, this is the deadliest strike ever. It's like, bro, come on. I get you're putting these things to get people to want to watch, but come on now. Moscow claims the attacks was a retaliatory strike. Okay, so they were attacking against something, while both sides deny targeting civilians. I doubt it, huh? I doubt it.
Well, another global news, Russia has shared
That was a horribly abrupt, transition.
images of strategic bombers flying over international waters in the Baltic Sea. Now, these images claim to show Tu-22M3 aircraft. It is the same model, which appeared to be damaged in images of Ukraine's drone attack on nuclear-capable bombers in Russian territory earlier this month.
Damn.
Moscow has downplayed the extent of damage, calling
Oh
it
shit, look at that. I think what we're seeing here, if I'm not mistaken, that is when Ukraine launched their drone attacks on Russian military bases and destroyed something like 49 major planes or something like that. But I believe that's what we're
exaggerated, as Kiev estimated Russia's losses to be worth $7,000 billion. Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said Moscow's nuclear deterrence has not suffered sufficient damage, adding that the damaged equipment can and will be restored.
Of course it
And
will.
this comes as it continues with missile and drone strikes on Ukraine, including the capital Kyiv, in the name of retaliation to the June 1st attack. As Russia pounds Ukraine, President Vladimir Putin chaired a meeting in Moscow aimed at improving the country's military capabilities. Now, in an opening statement to the representatives of military...
For the people that aren't watching and just listening, this voice that we're listening, it's supposed to be what Putin is currently saying in this meeting.
Sector, Putin said particular attention would be paid to nuclear triad, adding that it remains a guarantor of Russia's sovereignty and plays a key role in ensuring the balance of power in the world.
Certainly, special attention should be paid to the nuclear triad, which has been and remains the guarantor of Russia's sovereignty. It plays a key role in ensuring the balance of power in the world.
Balance of power? What the fuck?
On the other hand, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky hosted the leaders of several countries across southeastern Europe in the port city of Odessa, hours after it was targeted by Russian strikes. The summit included leaders from across the region, including from Romania, Moldova, Greece, and Croatia.
You know, I have a lot of problems with things like this because wasn't that leader who was the person who was going to be appointed the president, or I don't know if it's prime minister or whatever it is in Romania. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be, horribly uneducated, stupid ass, but I am. Sorry. You can correct me, of course. But in Romania, not so long ago, they had an election. The Romanian people voted for this gentleman to be elected, but then what happened is the EU said that the person that they voted was not the person that should have won. Then they disregarded the person who won and elected an unelected person as leader in Romania. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So Ukraine having a Ukraine Southeast Summit, including all these people, even Romania, I don't trust it because the war should have ended. I keep hearing every other fucking day, today also, that apparently next week they're gonna, Putin and Zelensky are gonna have negotiations for a peace deal and all this. But are they? Like, it seems like they are just trying to start their own type of forever wars, which is, I'm not meaning really Russia, but it seems like EU is, instead of wanting Ukraine to come some sort of peace so they can stop all the killing and everything, they're focusing on trying to escalate the war, but not escalate it to a sense of okay, now Russia has to use nukes because that's the last option, but escalating in a sense where the war stays, like it goes up and then it stays at that point and it stays there for a while. So whoever is profiting off of it can profit off of it. Kind of like what happened with the US going to the Middle East after 9/11, spent how many fucking years there doing bullshit, saying that there was nuclear stuff when there wasn't, when it was all for other things and money and blah, 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 blah. I don't have to beat a dead horse. You know what I'm talking about, but let's continue the video.
The leaders signed a declaration condemning Moscow's invasion, including calling for NATO membership for Ukraine and denouncing war crimes committed by Russia. Serbia's president, Alexander Vučić, who maintained strong ties with Russia, was also at the summit in his first visit to Ukraine since the Russian invasion. However, he was not in the list of leaders who signed the declaration published by Zelensky's office.
Now, in the latest, Russia has shared undated images and visuals of strategic bombers flying over international waters in the Baltic Sea. Now, these images claim to also show the Tu-22M3 aircraft, which is the same model which appeared to be damaged in the visuals which emerged after Ukraine's drone attack on
No,
nuclear-capable
that was
bombers
right.
in Russian territory on the 1st of June under Ukraine's Operation
So they
Spiderweb.
just built their shit again.
Moscow has downplayed the extent of the damage that was caused to its strategic bombers, calling it purposefully exaggerated, as Kiev estimated Russia's losses to be somewhere worth $7 billion. Now, Russia's Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said that Moscow's nuclear deterrence has not suffered sufficient damage, adding that the damaged equipment can and will be restored. This as it
Makes
continues with
sense.
missile and drone strikes on Ukraine, including the capital Kiev, in the name of retaliation to the
Imagine
June
living
1st attack.
through that.
As Russia pounds Ukraine, President Vladimir Putin chaired a meeting in Moscow aimed at improving the country's military capabilities. In an opening statement to representatives of the military sector, Putin said that particular attention would be paid to nuclear triad, adding that it remains the guarantor of Russia's sovereignty and plays a key role in ensuring the balance of power in the world.
Certainly, special attention should be paid to the nuclear triad, which has been and remains the guarantor of Russia's sovereignty. It plays a key role in ensuring the balance of power in the world.
What does it mean? Like that's scary, huh? When he says balance of power, why does he think that if he has a nuclear weapon, then the balance of power in the world is balanced? That how? There's many countries out there that do not have nuclear weapons, including one of the main things right now, Israel and Iran. Okay, one of the main things is they're trying to make Iran stop. They're trying to stop Iran from developing nuclear weapons. They're like, let's just say you have to get up to 100%. They're at like 80%, something like that. So they're trying to stop it prior. I don't think anybody wants Russia to have nuclear weapons because prior to the current war that's going on, when this war was going on at the height of it, look at all the videos. World War III starting, nuclear holocaust happening tomorrow. Zelensky bombing. What is he gonna do next? Like, oh, okay, like it's insane. It really is insane. Who has the right to choose whether they should be the ones or they should not be the ones who destroy or create genocide to a whole group of people? Who should be the one and who shouldn't be the one to make that decision? Because if we go by Putin's logic, he thinks, let's just say I'm using his logic. I would, if I'm Putin, thinking, oh, I think I should have the nukes because in case I need to use them to wipe out anybody, and that's just fair. But then it goes vice versa. Then the other people will do that to him. Imagine if a fucking Zelensky in Ukraine decided to launch a nuke to Russia, which the Ukraine does have nukes. Imagine then Russia would launch nukes. And it's just like nukes are just stupid. World destroyers are just stupid. Did you know that after World War II, there was this guy, an American guy, if I'm not mistaken, who was so crazy, who decided to build a nuke, but a nuke so massive that you didn't have to move it because it would destroy the whole world. Isn't that just stupid? Isn't that just fucking stupid that they actually developed it? Like it was an actual thing. Where did it go? Is it just disappeared? Who the fuck knows? But you can look it up. And I'm not joking. It's a real thing. It's stupid. Wow. Nukes are stupid. The way to use them is stupid. Even in World War II, when they dropped them in Nagasaki and Hiroshima, prior to them dropping it, they didn't know what was going to happen. They were like, we got to get rid of these people. Hopefully, we don't fuck the whole world up. Let's do it. Nah, come on now. Like, holy shit.
Albion Online is a sandbox MMORPG in which you write your own story.
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky hosted the leaders of several countries across southeastern Europe in the port city of Odessa. This was hours after it was targeted by Russian strikes. The summit included leaders from across the region, including from Romania, Moldova, Greece, and Croatia. The
We
leaders
already had
signed a
somebody talk about
declaration
this. Why are
condemning
you repeating the
Moscow's
same shit?
invasion, including
There we go.
Obliterating trenches that held firm for months. Villages north of Sumy have fallen. In Dnipro too, Russian forces are pushing hard. It aims to capture Pokrovsk and the remaining parts
Damn,
of
is
the
Russia that far deep in? I'm confused. Okay, you see Russia here? Then Russia is on the right side in this dark greenish, bluish area. They're, you see Dnipro, sorry, again, fucking it up. Kiev is really far away from Russia. I guess if depending on where exactly in Russia, but still quite a distance. This place is, look how far it is in any distance from Russia. How is Russia this deep into the Ukraine? Are they halfway? Is Russia half invaded the Ukraine already? Like, do they already control it? Is that what's going on? Is Ukraine gone? Like all these other countries that used to exist. I think Albania was one of them that during a war it changed. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. I do not mind being corrected, but it's kind of insane, huh?
Donetsk Oblast. Ukrainian troops are withdrawing under fire, conceding ground as the Russian front line rolls forward.
Damn.
There is a new headache for Zelensky. Trump's 2026 defense budget proposes slashing military aid, shifting responsibility to European allies, and signaling a withdrawal from backing Ukraine.
But he's wanted to do that for
Critical
quite some time
supplies
now.
like radar-tracked missiles and air defense batteries are dwindling, leaving Ukraine exposed amid relentless drone and rocket attacks.
Oh shit!
Beyond the front lines, Russia continues its relentless air offensive over Kharkiv and other regions. In Ukraine, it's yet another night of intense drone and missile strikes, buildings reduced to rubble, rescuers trying to save the survivors.
Wow. That sucks. Poor old lady. Huh?
Kharkiv is under attack yet again. These were Shahed drones. 12 Shaheds hit 3 Kharkiv districts. Fortunately, one of the Shaheds did not explode. We have serious damage of residential buildings. There was a hit at school and kindergarten courtyards.
Oh.
Despite the setbacks, Ukrainian forces continue their counterattacks. Kyiv claims that it struck in Rezonit Technopark in Russia's Moscow Oblast. Ukrainian military says the facility assembles circuit boards and electronics for the Russian military-industrial complex. With fresh Russian divisions pressing the offensive and Ukraine's arms store becoming bare, a collapse seems imminent unless immediate action arrives from NATO allies or Europe steps up.
Troops have crossed into that place. Oh, that place that I said that was super far away. They actually crossed into it. Let me go back to that map. Where am I at? 10:03. Go back to that map. Where's this map? Oh, there you go. Damn. So the troops, so Russia did get in here, huh? Damn. That's insane. They really are pushing. Look how close, like they're pushing pretty far into in Ukraine. I wonder what can you do if you have a country, you're Zelensky. You have your country, all right? Let me move this cup out of the way. And you need assistance from other countries because as the days go by, more people in your country are dying and less of your country is existing because the enemy is pushing into your country. How stressful. What do? Do you just like, oh, I get he's holding those summits and probably begging people to donate, but damn, like that's just a headache, huh? Let's go to.
In Dnipro too, Russian forces are pushing hard. It aims to capture Pokrovsk and the remaining parts of the adjacent Donetsk Oblast.
Great.
Ukrainian troops are withdrawing under fire, conceding ground as the Russian front line goes.
Let's fast forward this. I want to get some
There is a
people
new
talking
headache
here.
for Zelensky. Trump's 2026 defense
Russia's.
budget proposes.
There we go.
Kyiv is descending into smoldering chaos. Air defense units working overtime to intercept the aerial threats.
Imagine seeing
These
that
are
at
the
night.
scenes of devastation, destruction, and chaos. Homes collapsed, hospitals shuttered, power grids failed. Kyiv, Odessa, Kharkiv, and western provinces all bear the brunt of Moscow's fury.
Damn.
Unfortunately, there was a lot of damage tonight. Our maternity ward was damaged, known to all the Odessans. Fortunately, nobody was injured.
Oh, thank goodness.
Everyone was in the shelter.
Plumes of smoke were visible in Kyiv as air defense forces worked to shoot down drones and missiles.
315 drones,
Residents
7
rushed
missiles.
once again to the take refuge in the metro stations.
We are in the metro station because of the attack, because the Shahed are buzzing overhead and the ballistics are shaking. It's a complete horror. We are in the subway because our neighbor took pity and gave us a lift.
Wow. Thank goodness.
We were scared because the shelling started and we got down on the subway around 2:00. It was very loud. Explosions started, we grabbed a rug and ran.
A rug? Why a rug?
Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky
Rug?
calls the attack one of the biggest in the war. He is urging concrete action from the U.S. and Europe and not just words. On the other hand, Kyiv launched its own attack on Russia, targeting an electronics company linked to Russia's missile production. In
People are
another
gonna have
attack,
PTSD.
Cultural Service Center in Russia's Kursk region was targeted by Ukrainian forces. The images of massive fire shared by Moscow. Russia has been launching a record-breaking number of drones and missile targeting Ukraine. While the two countries continue to swap prisoners of war, the only tangible outcome of recent direct peace talks held in Istanbul, a ceasefire long sought by Kiev, remains elusive.
Oh man, that is insane. Wow. Did you see the video? I hope you guys saw it because it was on Galaxy News Radio. Russia fucking launched, I think it was a kamikaze drone onto the, what's it called? The nuclear thing that exploded that was like crazy in Ukraine. Wow, why is my brain not working? You know what I'm talking about. Chernobyl. Wow, why can't I remember Chernobyl? The amount of movies I saw about it. I was about to type it in. But so Russia launched a kamikaze drone on Chernobyl, cracking the shield that was keeping the nuclear radiation and all the stuff inside Chernobyl. So now people have to work around the clock to patch it in a way because it was the whole case that covered Chernobyl was catching on fire in between like this, in between the metal and it was just insane. Watch the video. It's insane. So Russia, they're playing dirty and they're fucking with Chernobyl, which if something massive goes wrong with Chernobyl, it affects the whole world if I'm not mistaken. Like it's not just Ukraine is going to be fucked up. Russia will be fucked up because it's right next to Ukraine. So that's just stupid that they even did that. But in the US, all the way over here, you're in China, all the way over there, it doesn't matter where you're at. You're going to get affected some way somehow. So that nobody's playing games. People are fucking up. People are doing some stupid shit and they got to calm the fuck down, honestly. Russian President Vladimir Putin has begun his revenge. Okay. Yeah, it's fucking up what you know for Ukraine's drone attack on its strategic bombers. Yeah, which that was very smart. You gotta admit it. Zelensky said that took a year to plan. Russia launched a devastating drone strike on Ukraine's Kharkiv. In one of the largest air assaults since the war began. Seems like it's just repeating the same thing. Well, Ukraine says 17 drones struck in just 9 minutes. Okay, it's repeating the same thing. But is that insane? Shit. We can't forget what's going on around the world. I know there's a lot. There's a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a lot of bit of this, and a lot of bit of that going on over there. But we can't forget the people that are dying in the other places. It's just the way it is. People are dying everywhere. They need our help. How can we help? Do you have any money to give them? I wouldn't do that anyways. Even if you were a gazillionaire, don't do it because you don't know where that money is going unless you're like directly giving it to those people. And if you're directly giving it to those people, who knows if those people are going to use it for the things that they should? Maybe they'll use it for drugs or alcohol or something to mask the crazy tension that is going on in their current living situation. So, what can you do? You can talk about it, you can share about it, you can see if you can provide actual sustenance, water, which is, something that is needed. So yeah, it's crazy, but that's what's happening.